GolfNewsRI presents the Golf Dudes Podcast. Here are the dudes.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Golf Dudes Podcast. Joe Calabro here, and I'm joined by Michael Callahan. He's, for the second year in a row, he's putting together the Chase for a Cure golf tournament this year at Crystal Lake, all to benefit his son, named Chase. Mike, thanks for joining us. I know you joined us last year, but thanks for coming back for more.
Joe, I appreciate you having me on. It's a pleasure to talk with you again.
So, Chase for a Cure, year two. This year, the tournament takes place on Monday, May 16th at Crystal Lake. All proceeds are benefiting the Mark Fan Foundation, and it also benefits your son, Chase. Obviously, we've written about him before. We've told the story before. So if you wouldn't mind, just give a brief, just a kind of summary of his situation, but then obviously update people from when the last time, they heard from you.
Yeah, sure. So Chase was diagnosed in 2018 with kyphoscoliotic Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's a genetic connective tissue disorder, so it's permanent, and basically it affects all of the tissue throughout his body. So he will have a lot looser joints. He is much more predisposed to vascular issues such as blood clots or any kind of problems with his heart, really. He's also much more prone to kyphoscoliosis of the spine, so he will likely need surgery at some point to correct that, a permanent spinal fusion surgery. He also is right now being followed for a problem with his neck. He will likely also need a level 1 fusion surgery in his neck at some point soon because of something they call craniocervical instability. So his neck is unstable and the vertebrae may not hold on its own if he were to do things like jump on a trampoline or run throughout the neighborhood, something that normal kids do his age. So they might have to fuse that together to make sure that that stays and that he wouldn't be potentially seriously harming himself. But otherwise, he's doing tremendous. For an update from last year, we just had his follow-up appointment for his neck maybe a month or two ago, and the doctor gave us the all clear for another year. So we can't thank his doctors at Boston Children's Hospital enough for all the support they've given us and all the information they've really given us on what he can and can't do. So with this tournament, we're just hoping to try to raise some money for a little bit more research so that other families will have an idea of what to do, and other doctors will be able to guide them in the right directions and potentially cure this down the line. For those who don't know, again, this is an extremely rare condition. So worldwide, when he was diagnosed, there were only about 60 documented cases, mostly out of Switzerland. So I believe Chase was the first case diagnosed in Rhode Island. He was the first case diagnosed by Hasbro Children's Hospital. So when I say it's rare, I mean it's rare. We only know of maybe 10 other families in the US that have it or that are afflicted by it. So trying to find different treatment approaches or even what they can and can't do for physical therapy is challenging. So what we're trying to do and what the aim for is with this tournament is to raise funds to help the Mark Fan Foundation, one, figure out some of those things that can be done, but also put money towards medical research so that, again, we can try to cure this.
That's the Chase for a Cure tournament on Monday, May 16th at Crystal Lake. The deadline to sign up was April 16th, but as you just told me off the air, you're actually pushing it back about a week or so, or you're planning to push it back about a week or so.
Yeah, I think we're going to look more towards April 23rd, April 22nd, somewhere around there, just to give people a little bit more time to sign up if they haven't already. We had such a great turnout last year, and we're looking to try to duplicate that same effort. So if you played last year, I hope you had a great time. It was at the Valley. They did a great job with it. And as far as I know, things went off without much of a hitch. So I think everybody had a great time. from everyone I've heard from, they had a great time. So we're looking to try to duplicate those efforts this year at Crystal Lake.
Absolutely, it should be an awesome day. I know Rich and I had fun at last year's tournament. We played just the two of us, and we nearly won the thing. Well, I don't want to say that, but we played pretty well for.
I know one thing. I didn't even come close to winning the tournament. That's for sure. And I was the one hosting it. So we had a lot of great players there, though. I think one of the foursomes from my wife's office won. So
yeah. So not to get too much more into the medical side of things, but with your son obviously having the condition that he has, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it, and then you have the COVID pandemic, and obviously we had it, last year too. So perhaps it's not a new thing, but were there extra challenges with that?
Yeah, there were a lot of extra challenges with that. So as I mentioned, how rare this disease is, we really didn't know what COVID would do to him. And we still don't really know, because he was fortunate enough to never get it, or at least not be symptomatic to the point where we don't know if he got it or not. We assume he never did. Where I mentioned we have some vascular complications with this disease, such as aortic dissection or blood clots, aneurysms, all those are huge factors in his disease just on a regular basis, right? Now we add in COVID, and I know at least early on, a lot of blood clots were reported. If something like that were to happen with Chase, if he were to contract COVID, it could mean the very worst case scenario for us. So we've had to limit a lot of what we've done publicly for the last 2.5 years, and really as it relates to him, especially even more so now that him and his age group still cannot be vaccinated. So once that opens up, and once he can be, we'll feel a little bit better about going out and doing things. We haven't completely reclused ourselves, but it's been challenging to say the least. Yeah,
it's tough, obviously, for everybody, but especially when you have a son or just a kid in general with their super duper rare disease.
Yeah, we talked to the doctors to try to see what if he is at higher risk or not, because we don't know, and it's always strange when you ask a doctor and they say, well, we don't know either. And we get that answer.
The disease is so rare that exactly. that no one really knows much of anything other than the basics of the disease.
Absolutely, no one knows what it would be like for any of these patients. So any family that's dealing with it, that just is kind of left to say, well, prevention is your really only option, or hoping and praying. That's kind of it. So we've leaned on the side of prevention because that's all we really feel that we can do.
Now, is Chase going to be a golfer, you think? I see you post photos of him with the golf clubs. Is that, are we in training?
I sure hope so. Golf, because of his condition, he's not really going to be able to do things like, he's never going to be able to play football or basketball or really anything physical like that. So golf is probably one of the few sports that he will be able to play. Golf, swimming, we got him in t-ball, but I don't think he'll be able to actually do baseball when he gets to that age. So I'm going to try to steer him in the direction of golf for sure, because I enjoy it. So might as well get him out there on the course too, right?
Now, how long will it take him to be better than you?
Not long. He's probably better than me right now, and he's never really held a club. When I say I'm bad at golf, I mean I am awful at golf.
But it's a sport that brings everyone together. Like you said, it's one of the sports, was the only sport you could play during the pandemic. And now you said it's one of the only sports that Chase is probably going to be able to play,
Yep. For me, it started, I had never played golf before, and I really only started because I thought it would be a good way to generate research funds with a tournament like this, because I had heard of other charity tournaments. So I decided to throw my hat in the ring for the tournament. And then as we were getting closer to that date, I said, well, I better get out there and try to at least learn this game so I don't make a fool of myself. And I've learned it. I just can't play it.
At least you're out there. It's fun. It's a fun sport, a fun game to play, and it's the most frustrating game to play for sure.
It's certainly frustrating, but I think that's one of the aspects that keeps you coming back to it. You hit that one good shot and you say, I could really do that 72 times throughout the time that I'm out here instead of the 65 bad shots that I hit.
Yeah. And then you watch the guys on TV in the Masters next week, and they make it look as easy as 1, 2, 3, as they say. So
yeah, it's like throwing darts at a dartboard, hitting the green from 135 yards away with a pitching wedge. Please.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mike, thanks so much for coming on again. Again, it's a Chase for a Cure tournament Monday, May 16th at Crystal Lake. You can sign up. We'll have a link on our website when this gets posted. You can sign up there. Signups end approximately April 22nd, 23rd, 24th, somewhere around there as they're pushing the date back. And again, the tournament is May 16th at Crystal Lake, a great golf course, obviously. And it should be a great way to raise funds. So hopefully everyone can go out and hit some balls and see who take home the victory this year at
We're certainly hoping for a great event, and we hope to see everybody there. Joe, thanks a lot for having me. I really appreciate it. And if anyone has any questions, they can certainly reach out to me.
And actually, before we even wrap up, there's actually a group or a page. The tournament has a page. So if anyone has questions, they can reach out to the Facebook page for the Chase for a Cure tournament. So just people can just search for that, or if people have other questions or they can't find it for whatever reason, you can certainly message the GolfNewsRI page and we can steer people in the right direction as well. But there is actually a Facebook page for the tournament, which there's
a Facebook page that we started last year that has all the event information on it. Anyone can feel free to search that on Facebook and find that information. As you said, you can also comment on the GolfNewsRI, message GolfNewsRI, and hopefully you guys can pass it along.
Absolutely. And then you're still looking for like sponsors and
sponsors, golfers, anyone who wants to come for dinner, donations, anything that anyone can do. It would be greatly appreciated, because with how rare this is, I am the only, or we are the only people that I know that are raising money for this. That's not to say we are the only, it's just the only people that I know of. So really it's our only chance.
Absolutely. Mike, thanks so much for coming on, and hopefully the Chase for a Cure tournament is a giant success once again, just like it was last year. And hopefully this helps, continue to get people involved as May 16th inches closer. It seems like it's taking forever, but it's
definitely taken forever. And with the weather we've had lately, it doesn't feel like it's going to get here any sooner. But thanks a lot, Joe. I really appreciate the time.